Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video, and this is another basketball reaction, and this is a Mike Kozemba reaction. I've not done a video on this guy's videos for, feels like weeks now, and I don't know if I've done one recently, maybe it's been like 2 or 3 weeks, but this video reaction is to the 12 most ridiculous calls in NBA history. I've never really done a video on this type of stuff, to be honest, like, basically decisions that could have changed the who wins the game or the championship, etc. I'm not too sure what this is going to be, but I know it's going to involve officials making incorrect calls, basically. But yo, you guys suggested this, and I'm excited, man. This is again, this is something new, and I say that all the time. I'm excited, man. I need to find some new words in the dictionary. I find myself repeating myself a lot. I really do. But yeah, I am interested in seeing this because this is something new to me for the sport, and even though I've been reacting to this sport for 3-4 months now, I'd still say 2-3 months actually. But even 2-3 months, I'm still finding myself seeing new sorts of videos to watch, and that's just incredible to me because I'm just going to keep doing that, just keep finding new things to see. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. If you want to see more things like this, suggest some sort of videos that are not familiar, similar to this, and yeah, I'll react to them in future if I see them. But yo, let's get into the video and see what it's about.
What's up guys, Mike here, and today we are looking at the 12 most absurd calls in NBA history. Now, you know, we all give the NBA crap from time to time, because sometimes the officiating in games is just a little questionable, just a little. And sometimes the refs do make several horrible calls in a row and potentially decide playoff series. Cough Kings Lakers, cough Heat Mavericks, cough Bucks Sixers. Was that discreet enough? But yeah, so this isn't a conspiracy video. We're just looking at the 12 worst calls of all time. These are horrible. Trust me, you're in for a treat here. So let's just jump into the video. Number 12. I guess somebody fouled him. You can see that at the time, real life was actually pixelated, not like the high definition world we're living in today. And we see Keon Doolan get the ball, spin, and then draws a shooting foul from his own teammate. He literally just spins and runs right into Marcin Gortat.
Wow.
Just puts his hands up like, I didn't touch him, ref. And somehow that confuses everyone.
Thing is, I'm not going to act like I'm some sort of expert in sport, but even I knew the first time I saw that, he ran into his teammate. So what is the official scene that we have?
And the Pistons are
Maybe
called for the foul. I really think it was
at.
Marcin selling this. Refs are so used to just calling fouls on anyone who just goes, no, it wasn't me. So they just blew their whistle on instinct. Number 11, the shortest three-pointer in NBA history.
Wait,
okay, so we don't have to say that much about this one. Just watch as Damian Lillard spots up like 5 feet inside the three-point line. He drains the shot, and the referee somehow calls this a 3. Look at where he's standing. He can clearly see the play, and yet he's just like, close enough.
How is... Okay, this video is going to be crazy. How is he giving...
And they didn't even review this. So that actually counted as a 3. Insane. Number 10. Are you kidding me? Here we are. Raptors down 6, 25 seconds left. Kyle Lowry spots up for a 3, bangs it, looks like he gets fouled, and they call an offensive foul on this? How? So yeah, watch his leg does kick out like the slightest bit, but that just looks like that's his natural shooting motion. I mean, he's catching.
Does that mean his shot doesn't count? His 3-pointer doesn't count? Because that was beautiful. If that's the case, that is nuts.
It, spotting up, fading away, and yet they call an offensive foul, and then call a technical foul on Lowry, and he's out of the game. So instead of being down 3, and he should have had a free throw because that was an N1 3, the ref just goes, nah, Raptors, the Kings have had enough struggles in their life. We need to give DeMarcus Cousins something, some kind of break. So get out of here, Kyle Lowry, which is just so dumb. Like, the ref clearly made a bad call, and then he punishes Kyle Lowry by giving him a technical foul and throwing him out of the game.
I tell you something, man. Wait. If I was a fan in this situation, I would be so angry. And the player as well. These are the kinds of things that you just see in sport, and it's just like, why are you doing that? The official, it's so like, I can't even explain it, man. But just, for example, in soccer, man, when there's a decision that goes completely against you, and it's so like obvious that it's not the decision that the ref or the official has made, that anger that sort of stuff gives you, especially when it leads you to not win the game or not get the result you deserve, basically, man. That sort of stuff is so rage-inducing.
He was just running away. It's not even like he
This
was
one actually
screaming
pissed
or
me
in the
off a
ref's
bit.
face or saying anything. He just ran
Just
away
watching
in
it.
disgust. Number 9, that high five
That is
was
mental.
violent. So we're in the first round of the playoffs. Reggie Evans goes up for a shot, gets fouled, and then somehow gets a technical. No one knows why. So let's just look at this. So after the play, Reggie Evans goes, yeah, Blake, high five, got fouled. Nope. Technical foul, a little too hard on that high five, a little too much bragging. Seriously though, everyone's in disbelief and they should be. He just got a tech for giving Blake a high five.
For
Or maybe
celebrating,
they just called the
basically.
tech on that horrible headband to bald head to beard combo. I'm just not feeling it, Reggie. Gotta
That's
say though, the
mental.
clear winner of this video is this kid, who I guess is in disbelief about the call, but really just looks like he saw a naked girl for the first time.
Yo, I tell you what, this video is a lot better than I expected it to be. This is some stuff that's actually like I can kind of relate to a certain degree. Some of this stuff is actually annoying me. How they're making these decisions.
Number 8, he started
8 left
so
still, there's
moving
still
on with
8 left.
ridiculous technical foul calls. We have Vince Carter walk up to Mo Peterson
Classic
and
Vince
just
Carter.
slap him in the face. Now you might be thinking at this point, yeah, Mike, that should be a technical foul. He just slapped the man in the face, which I would understand. I mean, the two apparently are friends, and this was
Okay.
a friendly kind of thing, but he just slapped a grown man in the face. But let's just watch as Mo Peterson just goes, hits him back, just slightly hits him back, and he gets called for the technical foul. The ref
No
just
way.
completely missed Vince go, whoo, slapped the guy in the face, and he responds with,
No.
"Oh," and gets called for the tech, then freaks out and gets thrown out of the game. You gotta love it.
Nah,
Let's just give
that
a
would.
hand
This video is pissing me
to the
off.
refs. Great control of the game here. Number 7, refs
Bro,
gone
how's that even
wild. So
happen?
here we have the Timberwolves and the Spurs, and Richard Jefferson drives to the basket and gets fouled by Darko. I mean, he slid right in front of him. This was a foul. I don't know why Darko gets so angry, but yeah, he's mad. Which plants the seeds for this. Corey Brewer reaches in on Manu, gets called for the foul, and then everyone just loses their temper. But it's not like anything's too crazy here. But referee Ken Mauer instantly calls a tech on Darko and a tech on Brewer. Again, Darko I could kind of understand here. He's been freaking out, but Corey barely did anything. During all of this, Kurt Rambis just freaks out. And so Ken Mauer responds by giving him 2 technicals in a row, ejecting him from the game and giving us 4 technical fouls in about 10 seconds worth of game time. Continuing, we see that the Spurs miss a shot. Kevin Love goes up for the rebound. His arm gets hit. There's no call. And so then they yell again because apparently the Timberwolves have been getting screwed. I mean, that's been happening for about 100 years now. The basketball gods just clearly hate the Timberwolves. But yeah, Kevin Love gets called for a tech, which means in about 25-30 seconds of game time, 5 technical fouls are given out by Ken Mauer on the Timberwolves. 5! At this point, everyone's freaking out. We see Michael Beasley just sarcastically clap. Actually, he might just be so high that he thinks his team's on offense and that all of this is a good
Sarcastic
thing. We
taps
never
are the
know
most
with him.
satisfying
And
to
Ken
see,
Mauer
bro.
just calmly looks on, which is kind of no surprise because the man looks like he shouldn't be reffing NBA games. It looks like he's straight off the cast of Goodfellas. You know what, guys? That is actually probably what happened here. Darko told Ken to,
Go home and get your fucking shine box.
and that unleashed a fury in Ken Mauer. Okay, let's take a
What are
little
these
break from the
edits?
seriousness of these horrible calls and watch a little bonus clip.
Is he riding a player?
Saddle up, baby. That was weird from me. But dude, get off of him. Why is he on him for so long?
Is that an official?
Number 6.
Dude,
this
that's a player.
decided an NBA Finals. This is game
Oh,
6
man.
of the NBA Finals between the Pistons and the Lakers. There are 27 seconds left. The Lakers are down 1. And here they go to Kareem and yup, he gets called for a foul on a sky hook.
classic
And
shot.
right away that looked questionable. And as we see the replay, how do you call this a foul in the NBA Finals? It's game
He
6.
didn't
The
touch
Pistons
him.
are up 3-2, and they're up by 1. This call literally swung the finals. Kareem made both free throws. The
Wow.
Pistons went on to lose this game, and then they went on to lose the NBA Finals after losing game 7. So if this call does not happen, the Pistons win one more NBA championship. Seriously, this is probably the worst call in
14
NBA
seconds
history.
as
I mean, the
well.
other ones might be worse in terms of just like a worse call overall, but this cost a team a ring. Come on.
Yeah, that's
and
fair
Pat
enough.
Riley even would later admit that this was a horrible call. So the coach of the Lakers was like, yeah, thanks NBA.
Oh, wow.
You guys are the homies. He also asked Kareem what he was thinking at the foul line after the foul, and Kareem responded with, "I like to get paid." I don't even know how that makes sense, but yeah, that's an insight on the mind of Kareem. Get that money, baby! Okay, guys, we are now at the portion of the video I like to call the reign of Joey Crawford. Yup, the man is an absolute menace. Let's watch. Number 5, Draymond Green's inspiration. So we're starting off this reign with just a plain old bad call. We see third quarter winding down, and Russell Westbrook just rises up for a 3 and gets fouled by Chris Paul somehow. Let's watch this replay. Russ rises up and just kicks Chris Paul in the stomach.
Wow.
And Chris Paul gets called for the foul. Seriously, if there's one NBA moment we can point at and say that's where Draymond Green went wrong, that's where he became a kicking menace, I think it's this one. He learned in this moment that if you kick players, you get rewarded. By the way, did you know that the Warriors blew a 3-1 lead in the finals? If you look at the comments, you probably did. Number 4, the worst foul call of all time. Pretty basic title for this segment on my part, but let's just watch this. This is the 2010 NBA playoffs, and we can see Steve Nash is over here, Marcus Camby is over here, which is interesting because as Steve Nash makes a pass, there's a mysterious foul called on the floor, and somehow the call is made on Marcus Camby, who just cannot believe it, obviously. Even if the intent on this call was that they were calling Marcus Camby for fighting through the screen, which would be a bad call in itself, somehow Joe Crawford said that Camby fouled Nash, who was casually dribbling the ball at the top of the key. Nice job, Joe. Nice job.
Wait, that's just the ref making up a thing because he doesn't know what to say. That is incredible. Look how far away he was from him. That sort of stuff would annoy me as a fan as well, man. I can't begin to imagine how those fans must have felt after those games. God.
Did you want the ball wrapped? Here we go, Suns again. We see that Steve Nash drives. Maybe he gets fouled by Matt Barnes. Maybe it's clean. I can't even really see from these angles. You gotta wonder, does Joe Crawford have some kind of like secret crush on Steve Nash? Seems like Nash is getting a lot of calls here. I think Joe Crawford was just betting on Steve Nash to win the MVP every year.
100%.
Conspiracy alert. But yeah, so Matt Barnes gets called for the foul, picks the ball up, and just hands it to Joe Crawford. Just hands it to him. And Joe Crawford's like, "Get that thing out of my face." Technical foul. Like, what?
Wow.
Next time, do you want him to get on his knees, pull out some wrapping paper, wrap it up, put a bow on it, and be like, "Here you go, sir." What do you want from him? The man just handed you the ball, and you give him a tech.
What's that?
Number 2.
Who's the most hated official?
Oh, you're ejected. So we've got the Spurs versus Mavericks.
Sorry, I spoke over that. I need to read that. I didn't actually hear what he said. Was that a laugh? Oh my days. You can eject someone for laughing.
You're ejected. So we've got the Spurs versus Mavericks,
No
and
way.
I'm sure you guys all knew this was coming. So Tim Duncan drives, gets called for a questionable offensive foul. I mean, it happens, whatever. The insane thing is, on the other end, Jason Terry's taking a free throw, and out of nowhere, Joe Crawford just starts calling a technical foul.
guy's
And he
mad.
called the tech on Tim Duncan sitting on the bench, where Tim Duncan is just in disbelief because, as everyone would later confirm, he wasn't really saying anything. He was just watching the game and laughing at
This
how bad.
official's pissing me off. He's actually getting on my nerves. Because there's officials in soccer as well who just piss me off, and I'm just getting this energy from this official. What are these calls he's making? Yo, he has to be the most hated one. Unless he's obviously doing it in your favour, I guess. Then you love him. But yo, he's annoying me.
Bad that last call was. But don't worry, that will not be the last of the ridiculousness of this situation. Because we see Tim here, he's just like, "I'm an NBA legend. This is ridiculous. I'm just gonna keep laughing and clapping because Joe
Hey, I can't
Crawford is
blame
just
him.
out of his
He's
mind." And so, because he continues to laugh at Joe Crawford loses his temper, loses his mind, and calls Tim Duncan for a second technical and throws him out of the game. Throws him out of the game for laughing. Insane. Insane. And if that wasn't enough, there are reports that Joe Crawford was challenging Tim Duncan to fight him. Joe Crawford's like, what, 5'10"? Bald, old, fat, you name it. Tim Duncan's like 7 foot tall, laughing at him
Bro.
like, "Get your bald head."
That's just when officials got an ego, mate. There's been an instance in all sports where just officials, they just sort of, I don't know, they feel like they're the main event, and they're not. They just sort of, they're there to officiate the game. They're not there to, like, challenge other players. But obviously, there's official safety. You don't want them to get abused, etc., because that does happen a lot in sports, especially in soccer, which is a bad thing in the sport. They deserve some sort of protection, but he's laughing. He's done nothing wrong, and you're... This is making me angry, because I can only imagine how fuming I'd have been in that situation. Oh, I skipped forward an accident.
Out of my face. It's actually more like, get your bald head out of my face. Horrible impressions. I'm so bad at it. Here he is yelling at a ball boy, flipping out because he says the spot wasn't wiped enough, and then telling him to get out of here and calling in a replacement. The man is on such a power trip at all times.
Yeah, I
People
don't
say
like him.
things
He's
about
actually
Donald
getting on
Trump.
my
What if
nerves,
Joe Crawford ran the United States? We'd all get ejected to North Korea for laughing at him on Twitter. Number one, Joe Crawford takes things to the next level. Now, at this point, we've seen Joe Crawford make several questionable calls, but all of those calls have been on players, you know, the ones that should be playing the game. But here, it's 2005, Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. The Pistons are up by 3, and then, yeah, Joe Crawford just gets a little excited and just takes out Damon Jones. Literally just shoves him to the ground and then calls a foul on Chauncey Billups, who's just standing there. What is this? Literally, you just see him crash into Damon Jones. I mean, I'm laughing, but this could have cost the Pistons the game in the Eastern Conference Finals. Luckily, Detroit did go on to win this, but you know, let's just watch a clip of JJ Redick here. Let's just watch as JJ puts all of our frustrations into actions and tosses the out of Joe Crawford. It's like, Joe Crawford. Let's just watch a clip of JJ Redick.
I need to see this.
Let's just watch as JJ puts all of our frustrations into actions and tosses the out of Joe Crawford. It's like, Joe Crawford, get on the ground, son. JJ is a hero. If you didn't love JJ before this, we all need to praise his name now. And before we wrap things,
I'm gonna watch the end of this video. Yeah, I just want to search. Who is the most hated? Who is the most hated official? Official? Is that how you spell it? In basketball. Hopefully it comes up. No, it's not going to come up, is it? What if I search referee? John Higgins. Really? Is there a reason for that then? Maybe he's done something out of the sport that makes him so hated. Maybe I'm being too harsh on this guy, because obviously he's still human, but at the end of the day, some of these mistakes are actually, like, in sport, when you get these sort of mistakes, you can't, like, explain how angry they genuinely
are. Let's just stick with Joe Crawford for one more second. Let's have a tribute to the man, the myth, the piece of Joe Crawford.
The premise of officiating at any level is to get the plays right. If you're going to do this, if you're going to ref, you have to know the rules. You just can't go and pass your state test. You have to constantly stay on the rules. The preparation before a game is very important. Getting on the same page of what we're trying to accomplish that night. Officiating is just like anything else. You constantly are trying to look to improve.
And this was when Duncan's out of the game.
And thank you guys for watching.
Yo, shout out to this guy, man. I'm going to stop here because I assume this is the end of the video, but mate, I'm happy I came back to Mike Kazemba because this video was class. This is actually one of my favourite videos I've done in a long time. Like, this actually made me feel angry, which is I want to feel these sort of emotions when I watch sport. Like, I want to feel how the players would have kind of felt. Obviously, it's not to the level that they would be, but this video genuinely sort of made me like, Jesus, man, how are these mistakes even happen? Because I can relate, even though it's a different sport, I can relate to these kind of situations. But yo, this was a really cool video, man. If there's any more like familiar ones like that, relatively similar to this, please let me know, because I want to see more things like this, man. Stuff when it's just like the officials had an absolute blunder, and maybe in other sports I'll see similar things to this. But yo, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and yo, until next time, like, subscribe, and peace.